who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stop the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they must feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.
They are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeve. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stop it. Stop it.
Ooh, sorry about that. I was just, what's the craziest thing? Um, I was just, anyway, how's it going, Tiff? I was just about to tell you something. I'm just talking. There's a friend of mine that stopped by, and we were talking about why we think that the child trafficking thing, that we have our own thing that we think is going on up here. And he was just explaining to me, he was showing me the map. Well, we're like the last and the closest stop to where they would send these kids to go overseas, to Ukraine, to Spain, to all of this, because we traffic our kids somewhere. And Germany, Poland, all of that. We're like the last stop that it would be to fly over there. We're the closest to them from the United States. So this would make sense. He was just explaining. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go on the show right now. But it absolutely, because in World War II, they used to fly the bombers from Loring Air Force Base up here in Bangor to, over to fight in England and everything. And that's because that was the closest point to fly from here to there. So just something to think about. I think that's why I believe there's what I believe. And there are people that are catching on to it too. There's lines of human trafficking all from this United States, that go up from Canada to Canada from the south and then back forward. And people, if you open your eyes and see what's going on, you can start to really see this stuff. Because this is serious business. I mean, I don't know how many kids are missing from your state every year from West Virginia. How many kids do you guys lose
I'm
between?
not in West Virginia. I'm in
You're in
Virginia.
Virginia. Virginia, yes, Virginia. Is West Virginia even a state? Is it a state?
Yes. I'm
That's weird.
25 miles from West Virginia, both sides. And I'm 45 minutes from the Maryland state line.
How far are you
I'm
from
very
Washington,
cheap.
D.C.?
60 miles.
Oh man, so you go there then?
No,
No?
no,
Is it a
no.
traffic hellhole?
Every day I turn on the news, there's a fucking child being murdered through a gang
Yeah.
shooting. I'm not going to DC. No.
Is it still the? Is that still the? It's not the murder capital of the world anymore, right? It used to
Well,
be for a long
yeah.
period of time.
Do you remember back in the late 80s, early 90s when they called DC the city under siege?
Yeah, I sure
Okay.
do. That's why I was saying that.
Well, it's now back to city under siege.
So it is that bad there again.
Yes.
Oh my god, I didn't. I thought that they would have cleaned that up. I thought that they would have, or they did, but then they just run. Who would think that the state's capital? So this just shows you how messed up everything is in this country when the capital of your state of your country is under siege, literally by criminals. You know, like that's just you can't even walk. I know that you don't even go. They say you don't even go 3 blocks away from the White House. At nighttime or whatever, because you end up dead. I mean, that's just crazy. Tiff, will you say hello to your fan club, please?
Hi,
Let me see,
everybody. The last time I try not to watch the news, I really only watch it for the weather. About 3 months ago, it was summertime, and I'm like, maybe we should go to the zoo. The next day, I turned the damn news on, and a freaking 2-year-old was shot at a red light
Oh
in
my
his car
God.
seat because 2 gangs were fighting at the light. No, I said, never
Oh, come
mind.
on. See, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? People can say what they want about the mafia, but let me tell you something. Those guys, they only killed their own. They were very cautious of women and children. They took care of their own. They didn't go out of line. They weren't out just randomly killing people. They didn't do that. And gangs, so be it. You want to be in a gang, be in a gang. Go for it. But you know what? Be a real man and pay attention to women and children. Don't go out just shooting up neighborhoods to shoot up neighborhoods. That's pussy shit. Don't be like that. If you want to be running around slinging guns, be a man about it and get some respect from people. Don't sit there and just firing off so little kids are getting killed. That's just disgusting. That's a piece of shit is what that is that does stuff like that. Like you want to go on, you guys want to sign up to kill yourselves and do that. And only do that. Don't make anybody else have that heartbreak because of you guys being idiots and not knowing how to control yourselves. That's just disgusting. That poor family going, like just sitting there and not minding their own damn business. and just boom, all of a sudden you lost your 2-year-old. Nothing you can do about it. No, nothing. Because some other asshole is going to get into something because you're going to do that. That's ridiculous.
So
Absolutely ridiculous.
we don't go to DC. No.
Yeah, I can see why. That's just awful. I can't even. No, I
So
couldn't
I
even
sent you
imagine.
an article that
Of
I
the
was in.
Constitution?
No.
Oh, you were in an article?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Oh my god, I missed that one.
Look in your messenger.
Oh, that's why Messenger's over there. Okay, hold on. Shift over to. Oh, that's what. Oh, this is the executive order. Where's the article that you?
I sent it to you a while ago. Keep going up. It looks like a Christmas picture.
Oh yeah, I see it right here.
Yeah, pull it up for a minute. If you can.
Also, make your failures. Yep, I'll see. Hold on, I'm gonna disappear right here. I'm gonna.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to
Well, I'm gonna
explain
be
why.
here.
I'm
Yep,
going to
hold on.
explain why I want you to pull it up. There's 2 reasons I
Yep.
want you to pull it up. The first reason is because I'm so tired of people calling me and telling me about fake advocates. I know they're out there. I know, and I know who they are. The second thing is this article will clearly show you that I know what I'm talking about. I'm just an advocate, but all these other people in this article, they all agree with me, and some of them are lawyers and judges. They don't know me. So when Darren pulls it up, and when I tell people that I understand about your rights being terminated, my one child, my rights were terminated on her. So I get it. This is why I do what I do. I'm not the fake advocate, believe me.
I do.
I would not be taking an hour out of my day to come on shows. I wouldn't have started my own YouTube channel. And I damn sure wouldn't have helped over 600 families over 30-some years. So as soon as Darren gets it up, the first thing I said is that it's all a setup to make people fail. And I don't care what system we're talking about, CPS, parole, probation, the justice system, it's all a setup. So I just wanted to clarify, I know who they are. So nobody needs to tell me anymore. I already know. I don't know where Darren is. His screen is black.
I'm trying to pull the damn thing up. It's on this other computer. Hold on a minute. Only because my messenger is not working on this one right now for some reason. It wants me to do the 2 verification thing, and my phone's broken, so I can't do the 2-step verification. Let me get.
That's okay. Do you need me to send it to you in your email?
You email it to me? Now this
Yeah. Oh God. You crack me up, Darren.
Well, I'm just trying to oh shoot. Yeah, if you email it to me, I'll be able to.
Okay, hold on. It's on one of these phones. Hold on.
Oh yeah, see now it's your fault. But yeah, Are you in this actual article, or were you just as well as which is my son's ex-girlfriend and my daughter's best friend? Holy cricket! Wow. DSS removed a friend's daughter as which is my son's ex-girlfriend and my daughter's best friend. Oh, that's awful. We have to call our kids at 9. Okay, cricket, you got it. Let's see
Okay, I'm getting
here.
ready to email it to you.
All right, countdown is on.
All right, it just sent to you.
Can you hear that when I do that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, let's see here. You sent it to Abolish, correct?
Yep.
Yep. Does anybody out there have any questions for us? Anything that you guys have been listening to us talk about? Anything that we're not making clear, that you have misunderstandings or you're wondering about? Is there anything at all right now while we're doing this? And I'm pulling up Tiff's email here. Is there any sort of anything that you guys need clarification about? I know we've gone over quite a bit of stuff, and I don't like to make a lot of stuff. We go over so much stuff. I don't want people to be like lost in it. You know what I mean? So if there's anything that's been talked about, or like if you have a question for Tiff, go ahead and ask her right now while I'm doing this. That's kind of what I was getting at. But if there's anything that we discussed that you guys you're not sure of or whatever, please go ahead. Now is the time to ask her. Here she is, without anything to talk about while she waits for me. So,
Well, I will tell people this. Go to Google. I tell parents this all the time when I advocate for them. Even on the phone, I say go to Google and Google child's or kids Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, and Constitution, because they make these little things for kids. I tell them, post them on your door since CPS has a problem with comprehension. Take their ass back to kindergarten and make them read the shit on your door before they knock on it. It can't get any simpler.
Yep. You got that right. There we go. Okay, here's your mail. Parents struggle to keep custody. It's the governor warns South Carolina's children. Or is it the parents struggle to keep custody of their kids one?
It's the parents struggle to keep custody.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here we are. I got it.
Just read what I said. If they want it, they can send me an email. I'll send it to them. It's right in my messenger.
Oh, I know. I'm going to put it. Okay, I spent all this time trying to put this damn picture. Picture's going up.
Darren, I just want you to read what I said.
Well, now I got to find what you said. Where does it say here? All right.
Well,
right there in the right at the beginning.
Go back up.
Okay, go back. See, good thing I did that.
Keep going.
Okay. Yeah.
This whole sentence right here was the first thing I said to her.
Why don't you read it then?
It's all a setup to make you fail. Parents struggle to keep their kids with poor legal support in custody cases.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now read what I said. This is why I advocate. Read what it says, Darren, because now I can't read it.
All right. In the 30 years that Tiffany Wise has been talking to parents who are at risk of losing custody of their child, she says she's seen it all. Cases that present with flat-out abuse, cases tangled with claims of false and misleading information, and plenty where the parent is being told they have no rights. Since her own rights were terminated those years ago in a Loudoun County courtroom for what she identified as several issues, including a drug possession conviction, she said one thing that's helped her find peace is advocating for other parents going through something similar. Even if they're states away, between the complex regulations, paperwork, and latent trauma, she said it leaves many parents with a mess. It's all set up to make you fail, she said. The stories are all the same. Child dependency cases where parental custody is at risk of being because of allegations of abuse or neglect are almost universally understood to be long, frustrating, and confrontational process. At worst, professionals on the sidelines might see opportunities for family reunification that slip through the cracks. One large crack is the paltry legal support dedicated to parents who can't afford to hire a lawyer, the vast majority of them. Virginia guarantees court appointed counsel for those parents, but their lawyers are paid a maximum of $120 per case, an amount that General Assembly hasn't changed since the year 2000. That $120 pay cap works out to a mere 1.3 hours of work at the going rate of $90 per hour, is on par with the rates paid for misdemeanor criminal cases, and can sometimes work out to less than minimum wage when preparing for high stakes hearings or keeping up with long drawn out affairs. Wise and other stakeholders interviewed for this article said that that's translated to a lack of action, poor representation in cases. Judges, private attorneys, and state agency officials have seen court appointed counsel lists for family court crumble, especially in rural areas. In an extremely squeaky wheel as identified by the state government commissioned work group, and money is essentially what will grease it, 14.1 million in the state budget proposed for court appointed compensation, offset by $3 million of federal reimbursement. Currently the state allocates 3.1 million to that end. That boost would translate to new recommended maximum payout of $445 per case, which is about on par with court appointed compensation for certainly felony criminal cases, or $1,235 for a termination of parental rights hearing. Though the compensation boost is but one simple step in addressing the multifaceted problems, the work group, established by a 2022 General Assembly bill under the newly established Office of Children's Ombudsman, holds that it's a vital step contingent on the temperament budget wand. And then it goes down and shows all your counties. Damn, you guys got a lot of counties, huh? Holy smokes. This is all in your state?
Yes.
Wow, holy smokes. It says Virginia has been hit with a consistently poor report card when it comes to serving children in foster care, who are the subject of many child dependency cases. It's among the worst. States for reuniting kids with their parents and for seeing teenagers out of foster care. The Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission called the Virginia Department of Social Services to task on this scathing 2018 report, and though there's been some improvements in those benchmarks, it's a slow climb. In December, VDSS reported that just under half of children in foster care had a social worker set a goal of either reuniting with their parents or living with other relatives. Most of the remaining half were on track for adoption. And among Virginia's 5,000 some children in the foster care system, an outsized portion of them live in the southwestern part of the state. VDSS data puts around 18% of the foster kids in that region, reaching up to the Floyd and Montgomery counties, 3 times its share overall population. And that boundary expands to Augusta County, Lynchburg, and Pittsylvania County. It accounts for just 42% of the kids in Virginia's foster care. Lynchburg and Roanoke combined is 8.5%. Of course, reunification isn't always in the cards, but many stakeholders say that they see the towel thrown in too soon and too easily. Glenda Collins, the executive director of Lonesome Pine Office on Youth, which has worked for over 40 years with families in Lee, Wise, and Scott counties that are tangled with child protective services in the courts. Time and time again, she said her team has seen case authorities assume the worst of parents right off the bat, families not getting resources available. The problems that we're having are bigger and bigger and bigger. Homelessness, drug issues, there are all kinds of things that play into that. Parents are overwhelmed and they get marked as a bad parent quickly if something happens. She recalled a case early in her 28 years with the office that struck her, where one mother's attorney was meeting their client for the first time at the start of the hearing. And it's not just the attorney. Collins said there's also well-known workforce issues among social workers, guardian ad litems, a different type of court-appointed attorney in family cases that represents the best interests of the child. As the work group pointed out, the parent attorney list is drawn from the GAL list, but even the GAL list, with its hourly pay scale and lack of pay limits, is a strenuously small one. In some parts of the state, among the GAL list is the 25th Judicial District, a swath of 10 localities surrounding Lexington with over 220,000 residents. 23 attorneys, or less than a third of the list, are actually based in the district. Part of this is also because of workforce factors that Collins alluded to. Christy Corsley has managed court-appointed special advocates, non-attorney agents, volunteering to work behalf of kids in the court cases. Out of Lynchburg for nearly 10 years at CASA of Central Virginia, and said that the area has more steady supply of court-appointed counsel from Liberty University School of Law. She's seen Lynchburg's courts keep close tabs on GAL performance and even take some off their list. But there are literally no standards for parents' attorneys, she said. That's another route of action for this legislative work group, establishing enforceable standards and specific training for parents' attorneys. Next door to Lynchburg in Bedford County, Senior Assistant County Attorney Brandon Butler said the locality similarly benefits from a sizable pool of nearby lawyers taking on cases. But many who are willing to take on the family cases are new and less experienced. Without the observation of a mentorship experience, if they're not in a firm with more seasoned colleagues. Butler handles the bulk of social services cases on behalf of their county, previously serving as a court-appointed GAL himself. Between his own experiences in the courtroom and cases he's observed over the years, there are several different sticking points. New attorneys don't know enough about the court system or timeline, he said. In some cases, the evidence is what it is, and you just need to tell them. This is the route you need to go. Then they create an unnecessarily combative situation, and the parent doesn't know what's going on. In other cases, he said, the parent's lawyer doesn't know how or when to push back on the DSS lawyer's case. And he acknowledged that the high rates of turnover within DSS, around 30%, according to the industry sources, lead to inexperienced caseworkers who might set unrealistic goals. Right off the bat, Butler said many parents in the area feel attacked and see the social worker as an enemy, much of it stemming from the innate distrust of government and related entities. There's a lot of parents can do and programs they can take advantage of even before court-appointed counsel gets involved, but it's a complex system to navigate without some research familiarity or an advocate guiding them. Adding a holistic family support system. There aren't any attorneys working with parents involved in Bedford County's Young Family Drug Court program, only dedicated social workers. Drugs are nearly a third of the reason why kids end up in foster care in the first place. BDSS data shows, and all 5 active family drug courts in Virginia lie west of Richmond. Such models are a large investment of time and resources into addressing a root cause of those child dependency cases, and involve a team of caseworkers all supporting the involved parents on their journey, with volunteers in Bedford County even providing transportation to appointments. Even then, any participant will tell you it's a hard uphill battle. Butler, who isn't involved in that docket, said that having social workers dedicated to the parents, not just the child welfare, is the key to its setup, and that there's another part of the legislative work group's final prong of recommendations: establishment of pilot multidisciplinary offices in different parts of the state, where attorneys, social workers, and advocates would provide wraparound support to parents at risk of losing their children, no matter the root cause. Other states and cities have test-driven similar programs and shared best practices. The legislative group cited a study from New York that found such offices help children leave foster care nearly 4 months earlier than if their parents didn't have that support. Failed budget amendments introduced into Virginia's 2022 session by Delegate Terry Kilgore, Republican Scott County, and Senator John Edwards, D. Roanoke, would have set up 2 such pilot offices, one in Alexandria and another in Wise County, handled by Collins' Lonesome Pine office on youth. She said Lonesome Pine is uniquely positioned to be a steward of such a pilot center, working with at-risk families and youth using mentorship programs, classes, and some case management. Preliminary discussions about how the center would be structured were encouraging. She said promising parents guidance through the processes and timelines of their case alongside legal and personal support. That to her is what immeasurable help families reunite when possible. It's no one individual. It's a system that doesn't allow for enough investigation into it, enough services into it, enough time in to get the full story, she said. The legislative work group conclusions aren't really new, though they're more refined and presented in the November report to legislators. A similar 2015 report from the state's Commission on Youth laid out many of the same goals and recommendations. The availability of more federal funds to reimburse attorneys is relatively new, said work group member Valerie LaRue, who is an attorney for family and child welfare at Virginia Poverty Law Center. The support center recommendation is new too, and is estimated to cost $1.4 million for the operation of 2 centers for 1 year, though LaRue said an additional Tidewater area pilot program is under consideration. Legislators have considered at least the court-appointed pay boost 3 times thus far, and LaRue said the buck has stopped at the budgeting level. It's a matter of convincing them that the short-term expenses will pay off in the long run, namely in the foster care costs, which vary depending on the child but can be wickedly expensive, Butler said. He said there are easily 3 or 4 kids currently in Bedford County system with specific needs that run costs into 6 digits per child per year. Besides that, foster parent payments can range from $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Money that can be spent on services up front to keep the government out of families and kids out of foster care. Casey Family Programs, a national foundation focused on child welfare, pointed out in a report last year that U.S. spends 9 times as much on foster care services as it does on prevention services, and impacts 14 times as many children with those prevention services than it does through foster care. Recent legislation unlocks federal foster care funding for more preventative services, though, and the work group factored that in within its $3 million projected reimbursement for court appointed parent attorneys. Considering projections for the pilot centers the average reduction of foster care durations through centers in New York. A very rough estimate of potential savings realized by Southwest Virginia Center alone is $2.7 million per year. Butler, who identified himself as a fiscal conservative, said he recognizes any increases in the spending as a risk with Virginia's divided government. Yes, it costs money up front, but it's going to save money in the long term and reunite families, he says. Hopefully it will be viewed that way. Whew. Jesus, Tiff. Whew. Now that was an article and a half right there. I mean, that says it all. I think every 50 state needs to be talking like that.
Yep. And when I got that article, when she told me, she sent me an email. She said, "You are the star." I said, "What?" So she sent me the article. She said, "They all agree with you." I said, "Well, they can't deny it."
Right. It's all right there. Yep. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts.
So I advocated for them to get more pay, and they got more pay. It wasn't what they wanted, but
right.
I told the reporter when I talked to her, I said, "Look, man, I'm going to advocate for these lawyers because I'm tired of them doing shitty jobs in these courtrooms. But be careful because whoever else you're talking to, they could lie to you." So she started with me. And there was no turning back because Valerie already told her, Tiffany is no filter, no games, all about the business, and she's going to give it to you. And that's what I did.
Yeah, you do. That's what you do. That's what you did. That's what you do. Absolutely. I wish they would have put more about what you said in there, though. I mean, other than just that headline, like I'm sure you said a hell of a lot more than that.
Well, I did, but I think she wanted to hear what I had to say and then see if other people were going to lie to her. But most of what they said, I had already said. I said, just look at the J-Lark report. Just look at it for yourself. I even sent it to her.
Right.
We are 51st in the United States to reunify. 60% of the children in Virginia who are removed from their homes are adopted, which means only 40% of those kids get to go back home.
I bet you that it's less than that. I bet you that's just what the numbers do. Let's take those numbers. Let's take Virginia numbers. Let's do it for real. Because we did this one time on another show that I was on, and it came out, they're like, oh, 40,000, 60% reunification. Bullshit. It was 11% was the national average, but they're telling everybody it was 60. Let's see. How many kids are in foster care in Virginia? Let's check this out.
I think they said like 5,300 about. And 60% of those kids are going to be adopted.
Damn. Let's see. All right. My mouse is all crazy today. All right. How many kids are in Virginia? Child welfare stats. Let's see. Okay. In 2022, Virginia had 83,670 total refers for child abuse and neglect. Of those, 33,801 were screened in for responses by CPS. 4,563 child victims of abuse or neglect. Rate of 2.4 children per 1,000, decreased since 2018. Okay. 4,285 were first-time victims. Okay, so 33,801 divided by 4,563, right? Let's see. So of that is that. So there's 33,000 total, right? So that makes it. Fucking math. Who would have thought that you needed math, right? When you get out of school. Use math all the time. All the time. Let's see. So there's 83,000 total referrals. 3381. So I'm assuming that 33,801 is the amount of cases that they had, right?
Yes.
That they had total cases. And out of
Yes.
that means 4,563 victims of abuse or neglect. So that would be look at this. So they have 83,000 referrals. 33,000 of those they found to be of some sort of something was wrong. And then 4,563 of those they found them, and then they had to go to TPR, right? So look at the amount of times that they were wrong when they even screened them to be right. Look at that. 29,000 people they screened for no reason.
Yep. Even Valerie said only 1% of children in the United States is actually being physically abused. 1%. 85% of cases in the United States are false.
Yep. And I love that the new thing is this: neglect. Neglect is now what we're gonna get. You know what I mean? Neglect. That means, I don't know, we just want to TPR your ass. That's what that means.
Well, here's the thing here in Virginia. When I had that meeting with my delegate, I said abuse is one thing, but neglect, they need to narrow that law to exactly what neglect means, because I could be helping one grandchild with something and hear the other one screaming because he wants something, and that could be considered neglect because I'm not getting him what he wants at that moment. I said, no, the abuse and neglect laws, they have to be certain laws. They have to be. They're too broad. They're too vague. And now that's what they use. Oh, you neglected your child. So in the meeting with CPS and my kids, because they made me take all the kids and go home because they knew I was going to wild out. My son asked her, well, what exactly is your abuse and neglect law? This bitch didn't even know. She said, well, you'll have to Google it. It's on our website.
What?
You're a fucking CPS worker.
Right?
And
wow.
I was so mad because the supervisor comes in the room. Now, she don't know this other bitch done read the whole report. Nurse Lexi called and said she had an 18-month-old in her emergency room who was stoned off his gorge. Okay. So the supervisor comes in. She has no idea that we now know what the nurse's name is, because I got that bitch fired the next day. Nor does she know what the report says, that what the CPS worker said, right? So she's going to say, well, the report said the baby ate marijuana. My son said, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. It said he ate CBD. She said, well, it doesn't matter. My son said, yeah, it matters.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, my son told my daughter, don't answer these questions. And the CPS supervisor standing there looking at my son said, okay, so you're pretty much saying you want her to answer your questions and you're going to use them in court. And she just stood there. My son said, correct? Just like a prosecutor would use whatever she said against her. Am I correct? And finally she answered and she goes, yeah, my son said, don't say anything. They said, we need your address. She said, my son said, no, you don't. You don't need her address. You just need to know she doesn't live in this state.
Right?
I sent you those videos. There's three because they had to do it in three separate. Because the first thing my son did was he held up the phone right on the CPS worker and said, you either agree to be recorded or this interview is not happening. She goes, oh, okay. My son's 6'3" and he does not play.
Yeah. I guess the hell not. 6'3". Or he does play basketball.
Well, no, he doesn't play anything. He got hurt. But
Oh, no.
then the CPS worker is going to get smart and say, well, I'm going to record you too. My son said, and that's fine.
Welcome.
Yeah.
So
I put their ass on blast. I put everybody on blast. The CPS workers, everybody.
Yeah.
The fuck
Yeah.
you mean it doesn't matter what he ate?
Right. There's a big difference between the two, you know? Big difference. That's just arrogance, you know. They want to make it sound. It's just like when you get arrested for drugs, if you do. Not that I'm condoning it, and I'm not saying that it's. But they go, and you know, you got. Let's say you got busted for a gram of pot, but you go to court and they're like, you had 100 milligrams of pot. No, it was 1 gram of pot, not 100 milligrams. You know, like don't be using these bigger denominations so I sound like more of a criminal. You know, it was a gram of pot, dude. Just chill out. You know, it's crazy how they do that.
Oh my God. That shit was crazy. I laughed at them the whole time, even in court. I mean, I just couldn't stop.
How could you not? You know,
I couldn't
how
help
could you not?
myself.
Let's see.
So
Crazy.
that I wanted you to read that. I mean, you read the
Oh, I
whole
did.
thing, but like
Yes,
I
I
was
did.
telling them, I
I
know
should
who the
have.
fake advocates are, Darren. You do too.
I know that. Yes, ma'am. We know,
So
and you know
people
what?
will what?
They won't know these numbers. I'll guarantee you that. And I'm telling you, that's how you want to find a fake advocate. Why don't you ask them how many people in their state are taken into foster care, or ask them how much money they spent in their state, because that should be like one of the number one things an advocate should know if they're advocating for your state. They should know how many people are in foster care. They should know how much money the state spends. They should know all of this information. Just rattle it right from the top of their heads. How many kids are in service? How much for unification? How much Title IV funding came? All that stuff they should know.
Our governor, the first day he went in, and I downloaded it, and because you know I can't read shit on my phone, so I had to print it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He signed executive order number 2. The parents have control, custody, and discipline and education of their children, not the state of Virginia.
Uh-huh. Oh, he signed that into order?
That was executive order number 2.
Oh, wow. Damn. You go, girl. But they don't
Yes.
practice it, huh?
Well, here's the thing. People are like, well, he only did it because he was talking about COVID and masks and all. I said, it doesn't matter.
Right,
Read the very first paragraph. Parents are in control, custody, education, all that shit, not the state. I said, that's all that matters. Fuck the rest of that shit because they hide all that shit anyway.
Yep. I ain't going to tell you all that other shit anymore.
Our attorney general, along with 16 other attorney generals, have like Larry said, they have a case right now in the Supreme Court about fundamental rights for parents. I'm waiting for that to come out. But Larry was like, well, they're really talking about transgender. I said, it doesn't matter what they're talking about. it still remains the same. Parents have the fundamental rights, not the state. The state has zero rights. The government has zero rights. They are an entity. They are not a human being.
Right. Then that's what they're playing. It gets me so angry. It gets me so pissed.
Just like, and listen, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail, but that's okay because I am all about a woman's right. Okay. And I get it. It's your right. I'm a woman. I definitely understand. But if they just read the Constitution, a fetus does not have a right because the Constitution is very clear. All persons born to the United States is a citizen and is born with rights, not a fetus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a fact, Jack. Whew. It's getting hot in here.
I didn't know you knew any Nelly songs.
Oh, it's nice to see Brooke out and about. Brooke's out here tonight. Hey, Brooke, thanks for showing up. She just gets so far and few between now. Brooke's another one that she fights hard for this cause. She's a whippersnapper, that Brooke. Debbie, you got arrested on a different charge, and the police said I was intoxicated because I can't stand and stagger. Well, hopefully, okay. I got arrested on a different charge, and the police said I was intoxicated because I can't stand and stagger. Huh.
Look here, if I had to do a sobriety test, I would fail. I'm not hopping on one foot because I'm a fall. Okay, I'm 54 years old. I can't walk a straight line. I don't drink. I can't do that shit.
I thought you were going to say that you couldn't count backwards.
I can't. I can't even do the alphabet backwards, and I don't drink.
You know, that's one of the things that they want you to do. They want you to go, I couldn't do that if I was sober. You know, like that's one of their little toys in that one. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts.
No. You don't even have to take a breathalyzer if you don't want to. They're going to arrest you.
Right. You're getting arrested regardless. You get pulled over in those situations. You're getting arrested.
And you better get a warrant to take my fucking blood.
Mm-hmm. That's damn right. Yep. You ain't teaching a damn thing. You know, and that's another thing that people don't realize about the Roe v. Wade. The Roe v. Wade wasn't about abortion. It was about how much you're private to in your body. That was the bigger piece of what that Roe versus Wade was about. So when they overturned it, it was like, oh, it's abortion. No, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with how secure you can be within your confines of your own body without the government intruding on it. That's what that was about, people. So make sure you go back, you read that stuff, read what it really truly is about. The next time you hear someone arguing saying it's about abortion, it's not about abortion. It's about how much you can stay inside of this and keep it out of the government without having to maintain and take a warrant. How much can the government tell you can and cannot do without your body? That's
just like the Second Amendment. Everybody automatically goes to guns. Absolutely not. It's anything you can pick up and use.
Right. Yep. Yep. Whatever you can do to arm yourself to fight off whatever it is that's around you is what that means.
Yes.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep, it
I hope
is.
y'all are out there reading your constitutions because I have like 100 of them, all different formats.
I wonder if we got to find a place. There must be a place that we can find that will send you a free constitution. There's got to be a place online.
All they got to do is Google the United States Constitution, and you can download it in a PDF. But don't print it because I'm telling you, it's like 275 pages. Well, for me, it's 275 pages.
Maybe we should do a reading of the Constitution one night.
Okay, you know what? We can do that, but we're going to let YouTube do it because there's a whole YouTube, and I'll send it to you tonight because I watch it every night when I put them to bed. I'm telling you, I eat, sleep, and breathe the Constitution.
Yes, you do.
And it goes every article. So We can do that. We can definitely do that. You know what? I'm gonna send you the link right now.
It does every line by line for the Constitution, the real one, like the whole "We the people of the United States" or whatever it is, in order to
Yep.
form a more perfect union. And
Yep.
I used to know some of it. I don't know
It sure does. I listen to it every
it.
night.
I could still get kids right now, and they couldn't do a thing about it. Oh, I don't know. Hold on a minute here. Phew. Cricket. I'm not going to tell you that you can go get your kids right now, and they're not going to do anything about it, because I don't even know. We don't know what you're talking about there. So again, I can just go get my kids right now, and they couldn't do a thing about it. No, they're going to arrest you. Um, why don't you use a little bit more what you're saying there before you go saying that you can do that? Clarify, please, on what you're speaking about before you, because don't just go get your kids.
Don't do that. You'll be looking at federal prison time because they'll hit you with kidnapping, and kidnapping is a 10-year sentence under the federal guidelines. Kidnapping is a federal crime.
Hmm. Almost sort of point. But the Constitution, see, the thing is, Brooke, though, the Constitution is the law of the land. It doesn't matter. And that's not true because in the Constitution it states that every court needs to listen to the Constitution, period, in this story. So every court is, and if they aren't doing that, then they're not courts at all.
Would you like me to read it?
They're unconstitutional. Yeah, do it. Do it again.
This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuant thereof, and all treaties made, shall be superior law of the land. Judges. The judges in every state shall be bound thereof. State
Yep.
judges are charged with adjudicating state laws, but they cannot disregard federal law. And anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding, are null and void.
That's right.
Judges shall take an oath or affirmation to support this Constitution.
The problem is that we've let people just let them just run us over. That's the problem. No one's has stopped this train for them. Now it's time to push the train back. That's the problem. Yeah, these lower courts, they're not, it's not even that they don't even have authority. They are unconstitutionally ruling on these cases. That's the problem. I mean, call it what you will, argue with it what it is and so on. But the bottom line is, regardless, it's unconstitutional, which makes it null and void. So, that's the bottom line here. And Brooke, I agree with you. I always said I wish that I wanted to do when I was trying to set it up. All we needed was 500 people in each state, 500 people at the same time to go back and get their kids, and that would have been an overwhelming number. That there was going to be nothing that they could do at all because it would have just crushed people to have that number. But if we could have gotten 500 people in each state to do it at the same time, it would have just overwhelmingly run over everybody. But getting 500 people in each state secretly together to do it all at once at the same time, it was too much of a pain in the ass, so it never happened. What's up, little man?
Say hi. Say hi.
Oh, yes. Hey. Oh, he's tired tonight, huh? How you doing? Look at that smile. What a pretty boy. What's up, man?
Oh, stop being shy.
Oh, is that shy? That's not tired?
No, that's shy.
That's shy? Yep. Oh,
Let me guess.
any pretty boy. Gammy's boy, huh? Boy, he's big. He's going to be big boy, huh?
He's 35 pounds and he's 2.
Oh, my God. He's 2? Ooh. Dang, buddy. Holy smokes. You love laugh away.
I call him,
Well-
His nickname is Roly Poly Ravioli.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yes, ma'am. Man, look at that. 35 pounds too. Well, what do you think, Tiff? Want to leave it on that note?
Yep.
I got to be early for
Bye.
tonight's show.
You gonna
You
say
gonna say
bye?
bye, buddy? You gonna leave us out of here?
Say bye.
Oh, let me get some music and match it up too first. Yeah, keep waving. Keep the waving going. I'm gonna get there. I'll get it. We'll do and yeah, all right. You know what? Let's do this one. We'll end out with this one here. New one that I just did today. All right, we're out of here, guys. We'll catch you on the next show. Little man, big man, this Tiff. We'll see you all tomorrow night.
All
Thanks
right.
for joining us, guys.
Hold on.
Don't forget to join us next.
Ready? We're done. Hold on. Hold on.
I am the CPS Punisher, and I stand before you today with a fierce urgency to address the dark realities surrounding Child Protective Services. I would like to let you know that Monday through Friday I host a roundtable show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, which is in the United States time zones. I say this only because we have teamed up with some very amazing allies across the Atlantic Ocean. They are true spectacles of word warriors standing shoulder to shoulder with us day and night. Speaking out against the injustices they are facing on their soil, they back us up on ours. We are now a worldwide fighters alliance ready to confront these challenges together. We do have the guts for boots on the ground, but right now we are amplifying our voices. We are putting the almighty pen to paper to create a bill that we must get in front of those seeking office in Congress.